This has nothing to do with the review, but the movie I'm going to be reviewing has a lot of references to The Mummy, and I want to use that as an excuse to say how happy I am that there is the Renaissance going on. I'm so excited. Brendan Fraser, just... Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today our movie in the middle is The Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise is based off the titular Disney ride and stars Emily Blunt, The Rock, Jesse Plemons, and a little bit of Paul Giamatti. This was a really fun movie, and honestly one of the better Disney live actions that I've seen. It starts off kind of generic, which I'll talk about in a minute, but once you get into the characters, into the story, it's really fun. There's a lot of great moments. The Rock and Emily Blunt especially are awesome. Like, it felt like they were going to be very stereotypical characters, and The Rock being just his charming self, but actually he's a little bit more grizzled, and you know, he's a lot more untrustworthy is one thing that they really bring up a lot with his character, and he's kind of not crass, but he's a little sassy at times. So it was nice to see him play something a little bit different than what he does in, you know, like Journey 2 and Jumanji. By the way, what is it with him and jungle movies that begin with J? Is that just me? And Emily Blunt plays an awesome character. She's sort of got that like Mary Poppins energy to her, but basically she's somebody who is trying to find this magic pedal that will help in the medical community with like tons of people. And the main reason is, one, she wants to help people, obviously, but two, when it takes place, women are not recognized as being, you know, important at all, especially in medical communities or really anything that has to do with, you know, higher stuff. And so she actually has to have her brother kind of take her place in terms of talking in front of all the men at all these meetings and everything, and kind of be the spokesperson for her. Meanwhile, she's the one who like does all of the actual running around, and she's badass. You know, she will do anything she really needs to get what she needs, especially to get on this jungle cruise. And the chemistry between The Rock and Emily Blunt is so much fun. There's so many little inside jokes. It's the best part of the movie. My favorite thing, I won't say what it is, but he has this nickname for her that keeps coming up throughout the movie, and it's super funny, just the way he says it, because it doesn't seem like a nickname that you would just give somebody. It was really funny. The adventure element to this as well is so much fun. It has so much of like a reminiscence to so many other adventure movies, including Indiana Jones and The Mummy and Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, it's like they took all these Disney movies and all these other action adventure movies from, you know, a couple decades before and kind of not modernized them, but just did little like homages to them here and there. Apparently they actually use at one point music from Raiders and tweak it a little bit as like a little bit of like a homage to it, which was really cool. I think the thing that is similar the most is the characters, because it's The Mummy. Because you got Emily Blunt, who's basically Evie from The Mummy, because she's super smart, she knows what she wants, she goes and gets it. You've got her brother, who is kind of a doof, but he's like a sweet guy, and he's a lot of fun, and he really comes into his own. And then you've got The Rock, who is basically Brendan Fraser's character, O'Connell, in The Mummy, because he's big and gruff and knows what he's doing, and he's been here before. And so it was really reminiscent of that, and it was really cool, considering especially everybody in this Renaissance wants the Mummy to come back. So it takes them a little bit to get even on the cruise. Like, the beginning was really long, even though it was very fun. I can see how this was almost a 2 hour and 45-minute movie, but it was really cool once they get into the jungle cruise. They have a lot of really interesting creatures and things that they have to overcome, as well as the actual antagonist and other villains that come up throughout the main plot. The antagonist being Jesse Plemons, who I was very excited that he was in a role that wasn't very serious for once, because, you know, he's played very serious roles in Breaking Bad and Judas and the Black Messiah, and I'm Thinking of Ending Things. So it was really cool to see him in something that wasn't so serious. He has played a really funny role in Game Night, so it was cool to see him play something else that was a little bit more, not cartoonish, but, you know, it's Disney. And I will say, without spoiling anything, just something happens to him at the end. I won't say in any capacity what happens, but it was really funny. That was one of my favorite moments of the movie, because just the way it was edited was incredibly hilarious. Even the twists that they had in the plot were really great because sometimes they were really small things that were good for character, and then sometimes they were kind of big plot twists, but they never took away from the movie or anything, but they were just like, wow, that was interesting. I didn't see that coming. My biggest low for the movie would be the ending, because it's that kind of ending where it's like, oh, this is the ending. We're here. Oh, it's over. Okay. It was kind of generic and very fast, and it just didn't feel like it matched the other 2/3 of the movie, because the other 2/3 had a lot of like complexity and like things coming back, circling around in the script, and the ending was just kind of like, all right, yeah, that was an action ending. They didn't do a whole lot of like, I think, character development or like plot development in it. It was still really visually awesome to watch. It was very cool. But there was just some things that I was like, oh, you could have brought that back. You could have done this. Like, there was even one thing that I thought they could have brought back. It was really clever, the way that they were doing it in the beginning. It's this thing involving a camera, and even the way that they filmed it, and even the sound design with it, I thought was so cool and inventive. And then they didn't do anything with it at the end. And I think it really could have come back a little bit. So there was just some things that they could have taken advantage of that they didn't. And then there's just one thing at the very end of that whole scene that is just doesn't make sense. It's just super convenient for the plot, and it's one of those, oh, Disney good ending, but like, it literally makes no sense. Overall, The Jungle Cruise is a lot of fun. It is a Disney live action. It's what you would expect from it, but it is definitely one of their better ones. Honestly, this year has been really great between Cruella and Jungle Cruise. It was super fun. The Rock is always entertaining to watch. You're never going to have a movie where he doesn't break out some sort of guitar or ukulele or something and start singing, but he is one of the most charismatic, fun actors working today. I love everything that he's in. Emily Blunt was amazing. It had so many cool little references to, and feelings of like Indiana Jones and The Mummy and Pirates of the Caribbean. It was just overall a really fun Disney movie. I'm going to give Jungle Cruise a 3.5 out of 4. Look at my cousin got us this for, I think it was my mom for Christmas. It's the actual, like, Jungle Cruise. Really quick, I just wanted to mention, sorry for being on a little bit of a hiatus the last couple weeks. As you probably saw on my Instagram, my whole family got COVID, and then we were on vacation that next week, or 2 weeks after that, and I wasn't actually going to be uploading that week anyway. So I figured I'll just take a little bit of a break and then catch up, because there weren't a whole lot of movies in August that were coming out that were like huge movies, so I figured I could catch up pretty easily. And that's what I'm going to be doing, because now I can actually go back to the theater. I wasn't able to for a little bit there just because we were being pretty safe about it. But I'm going to go see The Green Knight. I'm going to go see Suicide Squad. I've already seen Jungle Cruise. So look out for that. As always, keep your hopes high, your stress low, and movies right in the middle. I'll see you guys later.